Guys, I don't have a lot of time. In 2 minutes, I'm receiving a call from Wes Watson. Okay, not actually Wes Watson, one of his goonies, because a poor sap like me getting to talk to Wes? How silly of me to think I'm worth such. If y'all watched my last video, I reached out to Wes and his team and was ignored multiple times, then Gadoo stole Wessie boy. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty funny, go check it out. It's been over 5 days since I had my scheduled call. I've not interacted with Wes or his pages at all. In fact, Wes's Instagram was deactivated, so I have no idea how this call was scheduled. But guys, we're gonna let it ride. I have no idea what's gonna happen. My goal is to get the other person to trust me, believe I'm a good fit, and take the call as long as I can. I'm not trying to troll, I'm not trying to one-up. Guys, here it comes, it is coming in. Hello?
Hey, Joe, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, my man, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I heard you wanted to get started with the elite coaching program with Wes Watson.
Yeah, I just wanted to really talk about it and just kind of, I guess, go over a game plan of what we can do. To be honest with you, I really like Wes's content. I've really been resonating with that no-nonsense style. To tell you a little bit about myself, I grew up in a military house, so that really, rigid, tough style, that's really what I want, man. So I really just want to level up.
Okay, and when you say level up, what do you mean by that specifically? Like, what specific goals are you looking to hit here in the next 6 to 12 months?
For sure. Well, I got a couple goals too, actually. Number one, I want to lose some weight. I think I'm decent. I go to the gym when I can, but I'll be honest, I'm not as committed to that as I need to be. As a man, I don't want to go around looking slobby. Secondly, my goal is to build a long-term asset. What I do right now is I mow grass. I live in a small town, to give you an idea, in Indiana. I know that's not a long-term thing. I really want to build something that's a long-term asset, and I really want to take advantage of myself and my personality. And Wes, I know, talks a lot about building these coaching programs and getting your face out there. That's something that I realistically can see myself doing over the long term, if that makes sense. I don't want to sit and be cutting grass forever.
100%. I love that. And how long have you been following Wes?
Well, I came across Wes on YouTube a while back. I actually came across his original GP penitentiary stories. I just find it really interesting, man. When I was in college a few years ago, I had a teacher who went and did some college teachings like in prisons, and I went along with her as a part of that class, and it was always really interesting to me. I just kept seeing them popping up on my story because if you interact with a page, they pop up and they show up again and again. And I just started to see a lot of his motivational videos pretty much anytime I pop on social media.
Okay, I love that. And in terms of your business, I know you're saying you want to lose some weight, you want to hit some personal goals. When do you plan to start venturing outside of the landscaping stuff? Well,
to be honest with you, I could do it any time. I have a friend of mine that helps me on the cuts, so I'm not 100% tied to that. To give you an idea of what I'm making on that, it's about $3,500, $4,000 a month. And I do have a little bit of money set aside as well. I'm pretty financially frugal with my spending. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of money. So now that I'm getting older and I'm actually starting to make some, I put a lot to the side and save it. I actually have over $25,000 just in savings to invest in something. But part of my problem is, and this is why I'm reaching out to Wes, and trying to really set up a game plan.
Hey, Joe, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Hey, Joe, can you hear me now?
Hey, man, yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
As stupid as it is, I was in the shower and accidentally knocked my phone off and it fell in the tub. So it's been a little wonky. I've got a new phone coming. It should be here tomorrow. I was hoping to get here today, actually, but yeah, my fault on that, man. If at any time that problem happens, just hang up, call me right back. I'm here to talk to you. So
I want to make sure that the 3-month elite coaching is going to be effective for your situation.
For sure, yeah.
Because obviously you're going to be working one-on-one with Wes, and the goal is, it's $12.5K to get started in the program.
Damn!
But we want you to be able to make that money back even before the program is over, using the knowledge, applying the knowledge, and actually executing on the knowledge. Does that make sense? In terms of time to dedicate towards building your own business in terms of the coaching space, how much time could you see yourself dedicating on a weekly basis?
Well, this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. And as I said, I don't know if you heard it before because I don't know where my voice cut off in our call. I have a friend that does help me with these cuts, and I've been slowly over time trying to outsource my work anyway. To be honest with you, man, I could go full time on this.
Okay. And in terms of like social media and building out like an organic social media audience, how much experience do you have in that?
I would say I have a decent amount of experience in it. I don't want it to seem like I'm an expert at social media because I certainly have a lot to learn, and I hope that's part of what I can learn from Wes because obviously.
Were you a pastor or like a team leader or like because you were very well spoken? I almost feel like you've been on a radio show or I mean.
Actually, when I was in college, I actually did work at a ministry in college. Now that you said that, I wasn't the campus minister, but I was the interim campus minister. They had a huge scandal in the church, and the campus minister they had at the time ended up leaving, and I took over that, and part of my responsibility was to speak. That's part two of why I'm seriously considering going down a path like this, because I do have that experience in speaking, and I think just through, learning about how to go about it, I could probably build a social media presence.
We have a spot left to work with Wes, but he's been very particular with me, telling me like, hey, I want to make sure that we sign up the right person.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure that you can get results, you can be a testimonial at the end of the program for other people. Because I don't know if you've seen some of like Wes's students, but some of them have surpassed him and they've gotten their own Bugattis.
That's awesome,
So,
man. Like,
have you checked out some of his testimonials and some of his student success stories?
Yeah, I've seen some of the people that are in Wes's course online. That's something I've looked into just the past few days since I've actually reached out to Wes about joining to see what he is, because I'm one of those people that I definitely want to see what other people say about it. Obviously, if you have a big page like Wes does with the success and everything, you obviously have successful students, or you wouldn't sell anything. Yeah, man, like I'm definitely seeing a lot of people having success working with Wes in the program, and honestly, like that's where I want to be. Like a Bugatti to me is just, I mean, that's a whole nother world of crazy to me. Our family had like a 1995 Honda Accord, and that's like our only car we had. So even thinking about having like a new car, like for example, like with my mowing business, man, I got like a 20-year-old truck.
No, I mean, Wes is the best in the world at doing it, and more importantly, he's the best in the world at simplifying it.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And
because if a guy like him can do it, then all of us can do it, right? So
right, and that's exactly what I want, man, because like I said, I feel like I have the tools necessary to do it. I feel like I've got the money to get involved in it. I just don't know what to do, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know.
That's the whole point of the program, is to give you direction, because what we've learned and what I've learned working with Wes is direction is more important than speed.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Money loves speed, so if you want to make money, you still have to be fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have to make those decisions as quick as possible. So, I mean, you said you saved up $25K. Obviously you don't want to deploy all of that because you want to portion some of that towards the knowledge, the information, the mentorship.
Exactly.
And then the other portion of that should be used to actually executing the ideas, the knowledge, information that you're going to get from Wes.
No, I was just going to say that was one of the questions that I did have, because obviously, as I've said, I am interested in what you guys are offering. I'm interested in working with Wes. Have $25,000. How much of that needs to go to Wes to work with them versus how much do I need to start up my business?
I wanted to also talk about that because I see that you were going back and forth with my team on text, and you mentioned the $12,500 for the 6-month business. I just want to clarify, the 3-month business is $15K, and then the 1-year business is $30K.
My business coaching program is $3,000 a month, $7,500 for 3, $12,500 for 6, $20K for the year.
Before you and I hopped on the call, I spoke to Wes, and he knew that we were going to hop on a phone call. I mentioned to him that you were priced at $12.5K. So he said that he would honor the 3 months of business coaching, which is one-on-one with him, or the 12.5 instead of the 15 on this call. You won't have to worry about that, but I just want to clarify with you, it's not going to be 6 months, it's 3 months.
Okay, so
that's one-on-one with Wes. It's not like group coaching.
So it's actually like straight one-on-one, like individualized coaching then.
Exactly, and that breaks down to like less than $5K a month, and that's the work with Wes Watson. And
right.
So in the 3-month time frame, the 12 weeks that you're a part of the program,
yeah.
The goal is for you to not only make that money back, but build your own business, your own asset. Since you have that other portion of money on the side, you'll have 15+K saved up. You'll have plenty of room to be able to actually implement a lot of the things that are necessary. Let's say you need to get VAs to edit your content, to post your content, whatever that might be, you're going to have plenty of room to be able to do that. So I think the 3 months makes sense.
Okay.
Anything beyond that, I mean, I think that's something that we can work on later down the road. Let's see how the first 3 months go, and then from there, if we want to upgrade to the 6 months or extend, we can talk about that, and we'll take care of it.
Okay, now you see here, I got a piece of paper. I just want to write it down because I think I kind of had the prices mixed up. So you said the 3 months is, you said 12.5?
So for business one-on-one coaching, it's $15K for 12-week program. Wes said that we can honor that for 12.5.
Yeah.
Since you are already priced at 12.5. And then to do the 6 months of business coaching, that's $30K. So those are our normal prices. For you, I would focus on just doing the 3 months, and since Wes is knocking off $2,000,
Yeah.
you might as well start there.
Right. It seems like a better deal.
You know, you and I will work together. I'll be your account manager, and then after 3 months, you know, we'll see whether it makes sense for you to upgrade from there.
Okay, and you say within those first 3 months of working with Wes that I would essentially learn everything I would need from him to really get the plan going, implement it, and really scale up, I guess, in a sense. I don't know exactly what's realistic after that amount of time because, like I said, I mean, I've never personally done it.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring out. So if we were to allow you into the program, are you going to be able to commit to show up to the phone calls every single week, not miss the calls? No matter what time it is, you make it happen. Because obviously, you know, Wes, it's not off of your schedule, it's off of his schedule. So if he sets a time and says, hey, I want you up at 7 a.m. on Sunday, do I have your commitment that you'd be willing to show up to those calls? Because if I were to let you into this program, I need to make sure you're the type of person that Wes wants to work with. You know how Wes is, right?
Yeah, he can be a particular guy, but you know, like I said earlier, man, I grew up in a military family. You know, so as far as getting up early, I mean, I get up at 5 a.m. I always have done it, because it's always just been how it's been in my household. But as far as like the structure and stuff, it's no problem for me. Grandparents were military. My father was military. He had a early medical discharge, but still, you know, went to the boot camp, still got that military edge. But you kind of said about like coming to the calls and this and that. Can you kind of give me an outline, I guess, of what it would be like, maybe let's say for a week, what I could expect in terms of the schedule?
Yeah, 100%. Well, in terms of schedule, that's up to Wes. Right, he's going to set up the calls with you. He's going to say, hey, I want you to show up Sunday, 9 a.m. on the Zoom call. Here's the link. Here's the calendar. Right. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Cool. But in terms of, like, the program, are you asking about in terms of phases of what you're going to go through and stuff like that?
A little bit better about kind of, I guess, road mapping how the program goes.
It breaks down into 3 phases, right? So number 1 is alignment, right? We want to make sure that if you're going to start working with Wes, he's going to start coaching you.
Okay.
And you're in alignment with your values, your goals, and exactly what you want. There's clarity. Because if you don't know where you're going, then how are you going to get there, right?
It's exactly why I'm here.
And then from there, it's exactly. So, you know, we've coached thousands and thousands of people, so we know how it works, what's most effective.
Stop the cap.
And then once you have alignment, you move on to the second phase, which is inertia. And inertia is putting the pieces together to actually get you to that place. Sometimes what you'll find, you're going to get time, you're going to be better than you could ever imagine, because Wes is going to help you shortcut that type of success since he's already been there and done that, right?
Right.
And then, so once inertia comes in, you move on to the third phase, which is growth. Because now that you have momentum, it's like, how do we scale this? And that's usually what, you know, the last 9 to 12 weeks consist of. It's just scaling what you've already created. And that's usually where you start to see results.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now,
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. When you say results, just give me an idea of, let's say, an average member of the community. What would be after that 3-month period? What would you realistically say I should expect in terms of those results? Assuming I do, you know, what Wes says and stuff.
Average results are never what we're striving or aiming for.
Okay.
But I'd say average results, you know, building an online coaching business, 10 to 25K a month, right? So you're making back your investment. But we're always aiming to go for an 8-figure annual run rate. That's what Wes is going to help you build, because that's what he's built for himself.
Yeah.
And so some of his students have surpassed that 8-figure annual run rate. So now we're talking over $10 million in revenue in a coaching business with 95% profit margins.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of profit to be in the coaching space, and that's part 2 of why, you know, this has really caught my eye. You are the asset.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, 10 to 25K, man. I mean, just being honest with you, like, I mean, I've never in my life really thought that was possible. Even me making, you know, my $3,500 a month cutting grass, like that to me is still crazy. But yeah, man, I mean, I love what I'm hearing.
Sounds good. I think at this point, we can go ahead and process the payment, get you connected to us.
All right.
Set yourself up for your first call with him. Then you and I can stay connected along the way. Schedule a follow-up call with you 4 weeks from now to check in.
Okay, let me write that down. 4 weeks. I got you.
You sent a text message saying that you got funding. So how are you planning to pay?
Well, this is without a doubt the largest payment I'm ever going to make online. What is usually the way you pay for the program? I mean, I use Capital One.
Yeah, usually we accept Visa, American Express, Discover, or MasterCard.
If y'all are okay, y'all take credit cards?
Yeah, we can process it right now.
Okay.
Are you going to be using a Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover?
Give me 1 second. Let me see. I got my my card here. It is a MasterCard.
All right, it should start with 5. Go ahead with the card number when you're ready.
Give me 1 second here. It's 15,000, you said?
I'm
Or no,
gonna
12,
honor
12,
the
12, 5. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do the 12.5 for the 3 months of elite one-on-one coaching with Wes.
Right, right.
Roughly
Yeah.
12.5K paid in full.
Right. I remember you saying that he was going to honor that lower rate. Okay, so do I pay that on the site, or how do I go about paying that 12.5?
I'll go ahead and process that right now over the phone, and then we'll go ahead and get you set up with your account.
The only thing about that is I'm almost certain I'm going to have to call and authorize that approval from from Capital One, because I don't make purchases of that amount that large. And the last time I tried to buy something of a large amount, it auto declined and I had to call and manually verify. Is it okay if I just give Capital One a call real quick and just let them know? Can I call you back at this number here, or do you have to call me?
Yeah, that's fine. You can call me back.
Okay, that sounds great. Just give me like 2 minutes. I'm already here on the site. I'll call them. I'll get that approved. We'll have it done in 10 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let Wes know as well.
All right.
And I'll start preparing your onboarding.
Sounds great, man.
Yeah, I'll hear from you the next 5 minutes.
All right.
I'm not gonna be here.
There you have it. The poor old sap who's not worthy of being in Wes Watson's group rolled a natural 20 on Sneak, and his own team didn't even notice. Can't really take it much farther because the guy wants me to pay over the phone, which let me say is a suspicious thing in itself. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing per se, but it's certainly a shady practice, especially since I don't even know who this guy is. He didn't even introduce himself or tell me his name, and he just wants me to give him my credit card. No. Just a couple of things I want to point out if you guys didn't notice. First, notice how they raised their prices. I put a video earlier that showed how Wes's prices were completely different. They just tried to strong arm me for $5,000 extra. Also, I don't know if you guys caught this, but in the beginning he said the year coaching costs $30,000, but later on he said the 6-month coaching costs $30,000. They don't even know their own prices, dude. They're just making it up as they go. But I'm like 90% sure this guy's calling me from his car because I hear his car on the road, the wheels. If you're running a multi-million-dollar enterprise, you would think that you're gonna call from an office or a house or somewhere professional, not driving down the street coming from Starbucks. Well, okay guys, I can't take it any further because he wants credit card payment, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and cut this one off. If y'all enjoyed this, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel. I got a banger video coming out next week. It was actually supposed to come out this week. This is gonna be the end to my Wes Watson series. If he does anything crazy, well actually, hold on. When he does something crazy, I'll update you guys here on the channel. But until then, y'all have a nice weekend, stay safe. I'll see you next week.